And it seems like we have figured out how to kind of blend in the ritual, the sharing of information, the internal work, the dyads, the music,
Mhm.
the art, the
Mm.
movement.
We all are gonna die. 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 Why don't we help each other prepare for it? Without death, there could not be life. I'm talking about end of life conversations, conversations about the end of life. Death and dying, grief and loss, conversations about the end of life.
Welcome, everyone. I am the Reverend Wakil David Matthews. On today's episode, we are looking forward to meeting a group of folks from the Blessing Your Journey retreat that they facilitate together in Washington State. First, we have Karen Lohman, who's had a little trouble with her camera, so you'll just have to imagine her.
Mhm.
She's a lover of Earth and her wisdom. She's a grandmother, an artist, a former hospital and hospice chaplain, and she travels in the rich world of death professionally since 2004. Lately, she's been sewing one-of-a-kind burial shrouds. Very cool. She is
Mhm.
passionate about giving her body back to the earth. She is lay ordained as a Buddhist interspiritual chaplain.
And I am the Reverend Mother Ana Luisa Armendariz, and another of our lovely guests today is Hilary Hauptmann. She is passionate about connecting individuals to a wide spectrum of resources to empower them towards the end of life and death experiences that they desire. She has spent decades of work in the aging and intergenerational field, developing programs and giving presentations related to health promotion, caregiving, and advanced care planning. She gathers deep nourishment in nature, exploring creative passions and connecting with others of various ages. Welcome.
So great. Yeah.
Thank
And I
you.
Yes.
got to meet her at her retreat where we sang together. So what could be better than that, right?
So cool.
And finally, we have Leanne Turtelot. Leanne is awed by the
Mhm.
magic in nature's connections and cherishes the healing support she finds out of doors. She has an MA in environmental education, and she taught kindergarten through college. In the death and dying field, life has been her teacher. Her father died when she was 9. Both her partner and mother went on hospice the same day. From there, she worked and volunteered for hospice, then worked as a lay interfaith minister and became certified as an advanced care directive facilitator. Leanne has been doing family bereavement group facilitation for 15 years and is now co-leading death and dying retreats. So glad to have all of you.
So cool.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun conversation. So we will go through our questions, but we really want to hear your story. So be sure to, pipe in any place, and everybody doesn't have to answer every question, but as much as you want to just share, let us know. So we always like to begin by learning from our guests when they first became aware of death. So anybody want to pick that up first?
I'd say I first became aware of death when the tadpoles I was raising in the backyard got out of the container and died.
Oh,
Mm.
I was probably 8 or 9, but I was crushed. I felt it was my responsibility to take care of them, and I tried.
Mhm.
Um, it really became very real when my father died when I was 9 years old. And that was a very poignant experience, I have to
Mhm.
say. I'm one of 6 kids, and all of a sudden there was no dad.
yeah. Wow. That's intense. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, the first memory is I was about 6 years old and I overheard my parents talking about their will. And I thought that that meant that they were going to be dying soon. And they
Mhm.
assured me this is just what they do for planning purposes. So I was in the upper elementary school years when my grandfather died in the hospital. And I remember having a feeling of responsibility, like somehow I hadn't thought positively enough. But it wasn't really until my 20s when my aunt was dying of AIDS that I understood perhaps I could do some preparing to help her, that I started to get much more embracing of the fact that people die in a whole variety of ways.
Yeah, so you're not any different than so many people, right? Like animals, childhood, grandparents, there is that moment and then life's just looks different, right? So, would you share how death has been kind of sprinkled throughout your life to bring you to this moment and doing the work that you do?
I think that for me, as Wakil mentioned, my mother and my husband went on hospice the same day. Um, I'd experienced the death of my father, and that was handled so differently. Um, I know my mother was sent home and given Valium to give to the children and send them to bed.
Wow.
And then it was pretty much pushed aside, as in, you're going to stir things up and make it worse if you talk about this. So this was in the early 60s. I was just a kid and I was going along with whatever everybody else thought was a good idea. Well, you leap forward quite a few years and my husband is diagnosed with a terminal cancer and I've got 2 kids at home that I'm caring for. And it's like, I don't think I want to do this that way. Life had taught me a few things in 50 years and I did my best to be open with my kids and tell them exactly what was going on, to be patient with what they could actually hear. And I was very fortunate to have the partner of Karen Lohman, who had a home funeral business, the 2 of them together. I had her in my life as well. And so she was an excellent, excellent support person. And, I really tried to approach it as open as I could and with the understanding that this is part of life. Um, it it was poignant to learn the separation of those 2 different approaches and, really hope that what I'd done was the best thing I could do for my kids and for myself and for my partner. So, having that experience, I went into doing hospice work. And from there, it just steamrolled. It turned out I had an ability to actually stay present and be able to speak and to be able to relate to people and be able to listen. And it just felt like the universe drug me along, and here I am. And the fact that I met these 2 wonderful women that I just love dearly, we're so different. And we bring different elements to the workshops that we do, but it's magic or the universe or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It feels like good work.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hilary, how has death
Hillary,
impacted the story of your life?
how has this impacted?
Yeah, well, I was fortunate when I was 20 years old. I met a wonderful mentor, and she began my many decades in the aging field. So I had the privilege of being with people who were both independent and others who were dealing with needing residential care and watching people grow older. Fascinated by that and recognizing there are so many different ways of being in the world in the later chapters of life. And it really wasn't until my husband and I had a 1-year-old son, and his 30-year-old son had just been diagnosed with liver cancer. And it was not the good kind of liver cancer. And we would go up every day to Seattle, and my husband would massage Joe's feet. And one day, Jody said to Joe, if it weren't for Gabe, I'd want to take your place.
Mm.
And Joe said, but why, Dad? Then I couldn't have learned these 2 important lessons.
Wow. Yeah.
Jody said, what lessons? And Joe said, to ask for help and let the love in.
Mm. Oh, I just got goosebumps.
Yeah.
And for
Wow.
somebody really at the prime of life to have gotten it, we say that Joe graduated early, was
Mm-hmm.
very, very profound. And I would say when that was almost 30 years ago,
Mm.
uh, I would say since then, I have been just fascinated and passionate about learning about different ways to face end of life and then what are our options at death
Yeah.
Right.
for aftercare and disposition. And like Leanne,
Mhm.
I am so honored to have Karen and Leanne. Uh, we do a lot of work processing and allowing space for each of our talents and strengths. And then we get the privilege of being with people willing to show up,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
3, 4, 5 days and trust trust the circle and trust the process, and together we grow together. So it's been a beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
we've done this 3 times, and we have
Mm-hmm.
a couple more in the works, and, it's truly an honor.
Mm.
Mm.
Wonderful.
I first experienced death also as a young person. I was probably about 8 or 9 in the school playground where I grew up in San Francisco. And an elderly couple were walking by arm in arm, and the woman just collapsed and urinated. And her husband was patting her hand, trying to get her to revive, but she died right there. And a friend and I ran down the street to a friend's home to call 911. That was the first time. Um, Death has impacted me like so many. My dad had a brain tumor when I was 30 and had 2 young children, an infant and a toddler, and I helped care for him. His death was lingering, and uh, I found myself really comfortable at the bedside and as a caregiver, and that was kind of my gateway into intimacy with death.
Mhm. Mhm. Great. Yeah. Well, we'd love to hear you all share more about the work you're doing. Tell us more about how that looks, how often you do it, that kind of thing. Yeah, tell us a day in the life of the
And
retreat.
who's coming? Who's coming
Yeah, who's
to
showing
hang
up?
out?
You know, quite a few friends, folks that we know through our interfaith community, and then from there, it's there's a lot of word of mouth. We've advertised at libraries and senior centers, those kinds of places. Um, we've done the retreat at a retreat center on Orcas Island, but we've also done it non-residential here in Olympia. The retreat is multi-day. We feel strongly about feeding the participants so that they can be very present. It's a real mixture of sort of didactic information, but it's always infused with the sense of feeling and community. And we, encourage people. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to cry. We always make sure that folks know that what goes into this group is to stay in this group, to hold that as private and special. We've had people that have cancer attend the workshop. We have people who are grieving the loss of a loved one. We have folks that are just wanting to get their advanced care directives done, but then find out that really processing what death is can facilitate their ability to actually make those moves, and that the resistance might have been some of the fear that's involved with, for all of us, fear of that
Mhm.
unknown.
Yeah.
Um, you know, we have different areas of expertise. I often will jump in with the history and the carbon footprint of
Mm.
different ways for disposition. Hillary
Mm-hmm.
is a mountain of amazing information and connections and resources. And I'd say that Karen's ability to run ritual, which I think is so important and so
So
rich,
important.
so
Mm-hmm.
important, is I'm always awed by that.
Mm. Great. Great.
And it seems like we have figured out how to kind of blend in the ritual, the sharing of information, the internal work, the dyads, the music,
Mhm.
the art, the
Mm.
movement.
So
Hmm.
wonderful.
So, and we're always changing,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
every
Mhm.
group is different. And
Mhm.
we're, I would say, we are always amazed. All it takes is
Yeah.
together, having dinner, and then opening up with a question. And
Mhm.
that sense of group closure
Mhm.
and trust is there for the rest of the
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. We have that experience over and over
We
again with
do.
this.
We truly do. And you know what I really love to hearing from you too. I can imagine this, and it seems like such a swaddling that you
Mhm.
like you give to these people who are showing up, and I appreciate it and I honor your work. And I also love that it's like you're birthing a new you, right? Like this is what it takes. I need to feed you. I need to hear your story. I need to, do you want a little music? What is we're babies as we're going, like we're always babies. We're always going to be new, mulings, I don't know, as we go into the space because
Yeah.
we've never experienced some of these things before. So I adore this.
Yeah, it's so wonderful. Karen, do you have anything to add to the way this process works for you?
Yeah, it's been so rich. I've been amazed at how Hillary, Leanne, and I have been able to flex and really respond to each group that we've worked with.
Mhm.
And the cultivating, as Leanne's and Hillary both said, cultivating of a container that's safe and fun. We have a lot of laughter,
Yes.
a lot of tears,
Mm.
and we dive deep really quickly.
Mhm.
It's been
I
an
wanna
honor.
go. I love this.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah,
we're
it's more.
definitely going to have to sign up.
yes, we are. I mean, and I am, and on this podcast, if you've listened, we honor all kinds of grief, and you may have people with humans dying, pets dying, dreams dying, but what you are offering is so precious, and so many people need this, and they don't know where to go to find it. So, oh, I appreciate your work.
Yeah. How long have you been doing this now?
We started 2 summers ago.
Okay.
Mhm.
So basically, we've been doing about one a year, and in the next year, we're going to be doing two.
And how many people are invited into the space?
Anywhere from 12 to 20.
Okay. All ages are welcome, or
Yes.
it's okay.
The first year was lovely. We had some young people aged 35, and then we had two mother daughter couples. And
Mm.
the mothers were 90, 91. And so we've had brother sister couples, a parent child, and it's very beautiful to watch family
Mhm.
members be willing and support
Mhm.
each other through the process.
Well, that's so good. So important. What a blessing. Yeah, resource. Yeah.
So, would you say that every one of your retreats will be formatted differently? That you spend some time just kind of asking spirit to like help you make it up, or do you have a format that you do every single time exactly the same way, even though the people and the energy will change? But do you just have your guide?
It's changed each time,
Mhm.
definitely.
Mm.
There are elements that we have used repeatedly because we felt they were so positive and rich.
Mhm.
And then something new will come to our attention. Say, no, we're going to use this and we're
Right.
going to replace that. And
Right.
like you said, it's going to morph with different
Mhm.
people. And I've often been fascinated because I'm in the field of education. And I've often been like, you have to be the person standing there that's the expert and you're supposed to tell
Mhm.
everybody everything. Hillary and Karen and I can like just stop and look at each other and say, we want to talk to each other right now and decide where we're going. And it's part of that magic I was referring
Mhm.
to is that,
Mhm.
we can feel our way through to the right
Mhm.
way to spend extra time here or to pause there, or everybody needs a break. Let's go outside and walk.
Mhm.
Um, I want to do a song, I want to do a poem. So it really flexes
Yes.
tremendously, and
Mhm.
it's very organic. It's hard to
Mhm.
describe.
I understand that only because, Joaquil and I are spiritual directors, and we're supposed to be listening to the, like intuiting. So you are you're just doing this.
Yeah,
You're,
yeah. And I love that
it's,
you're able to
yeah.
pause. And I mean, it's part of
Mhm.
the work. As spiritual director, I often just say, "Hold on, I just need a minute to listen," you know. And I can see that that's what you guys are doing as a trio. You're actually taking the time. I love that. That's really important and really discerning of you to know that that's a thing that needs to happen. And it also
That's
is.
right.
You're also teaching by doing that. You're showing people that
Mhm.
they don't just have to plow ahead. They can listen. They can pay attention
Right.
and actually get something from
And
that
you can
still
change your
small
mind,
voice, from the
you
still
know?
small voice. Yeah, yeah, and
You
you
can
can change
you
your
can change
mind.
your mind. It's a poem and not a song this time, or it's, take your shoes off and like dance.
Walk
I
in the
don't know,
grass. Yeah,
Exactly. So I really appreciate that. So,
yeah.
what do you want to ask, Joaquil?
Well, maybe to kind of end up, kind of move toward the end here because we want to let
Yeah.
Ana Luisa get out of here.
Yeah.
But we always like to know what kind of resources you have for yourselves when it's feeling like you're overwhelmed. What kind of things do you do to resource your own yourselves when you're like when you need
When the
help?
work is heavy.
Probably each
Mhm.
other, but what other resources do you guys turn to?
Outside.
Yeah.
Something good will happen.
Yeah. You remember that old game show where they have the three different choices? And I don't remember what it was, but our number one answer to that question is go outside.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm, mhm. And sometimes it's also being inspired by others. There are
Mhm.
folks here in Washington, both in our Olympia area and on Orcas Island, who are doing some
Mhm.
wonderful work around death. And sometimes it's just listening to their progress or their needs and remembering, remembering
Mhm.
all the
Mhm.
wonderful things that continue to evolve that we can all be a part of.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yes.
inspiring.
It
Yeah.
is. I'm inspired by you. All three of you. It's
Yeah, it's great.
And I hearing
Oh, I was just going to say for me, movement and singing often really resources me.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Hillary and I had a great time singing for a week. How long was that? That was a week or something, right? It was really great. Yeah,
so great.
that's a big one for me as well. Well, wonderful. We really appreciate you guys showing up
Mhm.
and giving us your a lot of information. We'll post in our newsletter, and of
Yeah.
course, it'll be in the show notes. But in our newsletter next time, anything you've got coming up, basically, we try to put stuff in that's coming up in the next month or so. So as something comes, be sure and let us know.
Mhm.
And
And what do you wish we'd asked you? That's
yeah, is there anything left that you wish we'd asked?
I don't know. I can't help but want to make a plug for a group that I volunteer with called Wild Grief.
Mhm.
They
Huh.
it's a family bereavement program, and they definitely serve the underserved, where they take kids outside, they take kids backpacking, they take families camping that have never camped before, and do this wraparound that we're talking about, and give
Mhm.
them a place to share with their peers what's going
Mhm.
on for them, and normalize death and normalize
Yes.
grief. And it's just such a beautiful, beautiful organization. It's
Excellent.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely
Mhm.
make sure we have a link for that. So we'll
Yeah,
put
it's
that
in
in
the
the show
links.
notes. Yeah, great. Yeah,
and
and
for
there.
me, I'm getting ready to facilitate 2 book groups on this book that's really meaningful to me, which is about, getting clear about what it is that I want and how do I communicate and how to support each other. And, I know a lot of people are ready for those kinds of conversations.
Hmm.
That's
Can
right.
you can you say the name and the
Sure,
author?
sure. It's called Finish Strong,
Yeah.
Putting Your Priorities First at Life's End, and it's by Barbara Coons Lee, and that's Coonds Lee, Lee. And she's somebody with a tremendous amount of experience, and she has some wonderful tips. For example,
Mm-hmm.
on your phone and for 2 minutes talk about your values that you want
Mm-hmm.
respected at the end of life. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to having other people who are passionate about that. And I'm
Yeah,
Yes.
sounds great. What a great idea.
Karen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'll just make a unabashed plug for showing 6 of my biodegradable one-of-a-kind shrounds at Olympia Fall Arts Walk, which is the 1st
Mm-hmm.
October. And I'm with a group show sponsored by Death Dancer.
hmm
Yeah, we just
We
had
just,
them on.
yeah,
Yeah.
we just interviewed them. Thank
Jane
you.
Thanks, yes. She's curating that show. So
Great. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So if
I
you're in
love it.
Olympia, definitely check that out.
Yes.
And maybe if you can, send us some pictures that we can post. That would be
Mm-hmm.
great. That'd be really good. Well, thank you again. You guys are amazing. What amazing work you're doing.
Amazing.
I really appreciate you.
Thank you both for the work that you're doing and the
Yeah.
conversations you're having.
Yes.
We did get a poem sent to us. Ana Luisa, you want to go with this?
Okay.
Great.
And I'm going to really like this, I think. Learning from Trees, Grace Butcher, 2017. If we could, like the trees, practice dying, do it every year, just as something we do. Like going on vacation or celebrating birthdays, it would become as easy a part of us as our hair or clothing. Someone would show us how to lie down and fade away, as if in deepest meditation. And we would learn about the fine, dark emptiness, both knowing it and not knowing it. And coming back would be irrelevant. Whatever it is the trees know when they stand undone, surprisingly intricate, we need to know also, so we can allow that last thing to happen to us as if it were only any ordinary thing, leaves and lives falling away, the spirit complex, waiting in the fine darkness to learn which way it will go. Yum.
Yum.
Oh.
Waiting in the fine darkness. Yeah.
Mm.
Wow.
This is almost like a very modern take on Thanatopsis, the William Cullen Bryant one, where he says like he wraps the mantle around him and like reclines onto that couch. It's like it's kind of like that. It's like waiting in the fine darkness to learn which way it will go.
Yeah. And you can't go wrong learning from trees.
No, never.
Well, thank you again. You
Thank
guys have just
you.
really, really touched our hearts, and appreciate you taking the time.
Yes, and ladies, may the magical spirit continue to infuse your retreats and bring the people who need to find you, because you are doing sacred work.
Absolutely. Yeah. All
Thank
right.
you.
We'll say bye-bye to y'all.
Adios.
Adios. Thank you for joining us today. Please stick around after the credits for our afterthoughts, and it helps our numbers if you stay until the end. We want to thank my children, Nate, Vivian, Nina, and her fiance Asher, for the excellent opening song, and a special thanks to our awesome editor, Sam Zemke, who is also a guest on our podcast. You can listen to him on Season 4, Episode 5. Also, thank you to Charles Heaston, the composer of the original music you are listening to now.
And of course, thanks to you, our audience, and all of our amazing guests. Please come back next week for another great episode. Share this with your friends, family, and community. We hope you will subscribe and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Substack. Each guest's additional information will be found in the podcast notes. And of course, if you have a good end-of-life story to share, please reach out. We are always eager to hear from you.
Yay.
I'm gonna go to this retreat.
Yeah, absolutely. It's only, 3 hours away from you by plane, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think these women are very inspirational, and it is magic that is pouring from these 3 people, that
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
creating this space. It sounds like they all bring their gifts, and they are all kind of, like, intuitive and, got their
Mhm,
spidey
mhm.
senses open, and
Yeah, and
they're there.
they keep it connected the whole time. I love that.
Mhm.
That's so great. Yeah, I
Mhm.
really enjoyed Hillary and I had some wonderful conversations at this retreat, and I said, "Oh, yeah, we gotta have you on this podcast."
Oh, I love it. I'm so grateful for that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, what a blessing to meet yet another group of amazing people who are doing this work, and,
Yeah.
yeah, so folks that are in the Washington area, definitely find out about them and
Go
find
check
a
it
time
out.
to join them. All right, my
Yes.
dear.
Alright. I
Love
love
you.
you. Adios.
Adios.
I'll see you soon.
All right.